Track 1.
1. Connected. Feeling that you understand, like, and are interested in someone or something. 2. Relationship. The way in which two or more people feel and behave towards each other. 3. Confidence. Feeling sure of yourself and believing you can do things well. 4. Roots, origin. 5. A sense of belonging. Feeling like you are part of a group or place. 6. Fluent. When a person is fluent, he/she can speak a language well and quickly. 7. Recognize. Know someone or something because you have seen or heard him or her or experienced it before. 8. Essential. Necessary or needed.
Track 2.
Learning several languages at the same time can be fun. Imagine you want to learn a new language. You start with a book in your hand and an app on your phone. You read the words from the book, practice the sounds on the app, and soon you feel more confident in that language. Now, let's say you want to learn another language. You find a friend who speaks that language and a website with lessons. You use the same methods: reading, listening, and speaking. You continue learning, and soon you can speak not just one, but 2 languages. It's like opening a door to new worlds. You enjoy the process of discovering words, phrases, and cultures. You compare the languages that you are learning. Each language is like a colorful piece in the puzzle of your knowledge. Happy learning.
Track 3.
Talking about abstract ideas like love is a unique human ability. This is true for almost every language in the world, but not for the language of the Piraha people of Brazil. Piraha are a small tribe of about 400 people. They live in the Amazon. Unlike every other human language, Piraha doesn't have words for abstract ideas. They only talk about what they experience or what people they know have experienced. Piraha are not stupid, they just have a different way of experiencing the world. Piraha people have a wide knowledge of the thousands of plants and animals of the Amazon. They can walk into the jungle with no tools or weapons and walk out 3 days later with baskets of fruit and nuts. Another unusual thing about the Piraha language is that they don't talk about time. There are no words for tomorrow or yesterday or last year. While there are a few words to say day and night or morning, they mostly live in a world without time. There is also no past or future tenses. They have no way to talk about time. They have no history, and they don't talk about things that happened before their grandparents were born. Their experience of the world is almost completely in the present. Piraha also does not have words for numbers. They have a word for more and a word for less. They don't count how much food they have or how many people they have in their tribe or even how many children they have. This doesn't mean they don't have good relationships with their children or other members of the tribe. It just means that they do not think of them as numbers. It's hard to imagine a world without time and numbers, but Dan Everett admires this part of their culture. He describes the Piraha language as having a grammar of happiness. Many people believe that living in the present moment is the way to happiness. Maybe this is why the Piraha don't have these words. Their culture is one free of worrying about the future and the past and enjoying each day fully.
Track 4.
1. Improve. Make something somebody better than before. 2. Require. Need something. 3. Introduce. Present somebody something to someone. 4. Put yourself in somebody's shoes. Imagine that you are in another person's situation. 5. Set an example. Show others the right way to do something by doing it yourself. 6. Fiction. a type of literature that describes imaginary people and events, not real ones. 7. Regularly. If you do something regularly, it means you do it often. 8. Concentrate. Focus all your attention and energy on one thing.
Track 5.
Hey there. Did you enjoy our reading class today?
Oh, absolutely. I love reading stories and books. They're full of interesting adventures.
I agree. Today's story was about the importance of honesty and courage. It taught us some great lessons.
Yes, and the characters showed a lot of courage when they faced challenges. It made me think about the importance of being brave.
Definitely. And the advice they got from their friends was so helpful. It's like they knew the importance of working together.
True. Friends can really help us, just like in the story. I also liked how the characters talked about the truth and how important it is to be truthful.
Absolutely. Being honest is not only good for our relationship, but also for our health. It's like a superpower that makes everything better.
You're right. And I loved how they showed that men, women, and even children can all be heroes in their own ways.
That's the beauty of stories. They teach us about people and the world around us. I always feel a sense of happiness after a good reading class.
Me too. It's amazing how stories can bring us joy and also teach us important lessons. I think reading is so important for everyone.
Couldn't agree more. Let's keep reading and discovering new stories together. It's a fantastic journey.
Absolutely. Reading with friends makes it even more fun.
Track 6. Track 6.
1. In Virginia, a school librarian named Kelly Pasek had a creative idea to make sure kids have books to read. They can now choose from over 150,000 books, and the drone will bring the books to their homes. This is the first time a school is using drones to bring library books to students. Kids just need to ask for a book online, and then Ms. Pasek packs it up, and a drone brings it to their front yard. It's like a special way to deliver books.
2.
A 5-year-old boy named Connor, who loves the police, completed a special challenge for World Book Day. He wore his police uniform and went to the police station, where 2 officers, Rebecca and Kristen, met him. They let him read his book in a real police car, and he even got to explore the car and see the lights and sirens. Connor was very happy, and his mom said the officers were amazing and made his day special. Connor wants to become a police officer when he grows up.
3.
The company called Get Laid Beds is looking for someone who loves to read before bed. If they choose you, they will pay £1,000 to read a book for 30 minutes each night before sleeping for 1 month. Then, for another month, you'll go to bed without reading. They'll give you a free device to track your sleep and see if reading before bed makes sleep better or not. The company wants to know how books affect sleep, and you'll help them find out.
4.
A library in Minnesota got a big surprise when a very old book, Famous Composers, came back after being missing for more than 100 years. A young man found it on his grandfather's bookshelf, and it turns out he borrowed it from the library in 1919. The library thinks the book might not go back on the shelves because it's very old, but they're happy to have it as a special piece of history. The library thinks it's the oldest book ever returned.
Track 7.
1. Take charge. Take responsibility for controlling something. 2. Confusion. Not knowing what you should do, what something means. 3. Decrease. Become less or make something become less. 4. Recall. Bring the memory of a past event into your mind. 5. Rely on something. Depend on or trust someone or something. 6. Reminder. Something that helps you to remember. 7. Stretch somebody something. Make use of all somebody's skill, intelligence, etc. 8. The case. True.
Track 8.
1.
Look at Kemal. He is so optimistic and full of energy. He never doom scrolls. Please stop making yourself stressed with all this sad news.
2,
I don't think she can help us. Tell her something, and some minutes later she forgets everything. Let's do this task ourselves.
3,
It is so easy to scam him. He believes lies easily. Please don't let him make decisions without careful thought.
4,
Jahan always acts on intuition. She rarely goes against her intuition.
Track 9.
Speaker 1,
My mom always got mad if some
Track 20. Part 2. Track 9.
Speaker 1,
My mom always got mad if someone was running the broom over the feet while sweeping the floor. So, everyone in our family did their best not to touch anyone with the broom. Of course, we didn't know the reason and we didn't even ask for it. The only thing we knew was touching the foot with a broom was a bad thing.
Speaker 2,
My dad used to work in a different city. Twice a week he came home and we had a big family dinner. When he left after dinner, my granddad didn't let us start cleaning immediately. He didn't let us sweep the floor at all. It brings bad luck to the person who's just left the house. Don't touch the broom, he used to say.
Speaker 3,
I used to go running with my friends after sunset every day. It was my duty to take the rubbish out, but my sister never let me take the rubbish out when I went running. She said that it took all the good luck from home, so she made me leave the house earlier. As I went to the park earlier, I had to wait for my friends for at least 40 minutes.
Speaker 4,
At our home, we had problems with metal objects, but scissors were the worst of them. We had to be very careful with them. My granny used to say, "Don't leave the scissors open, you invite enemies. Don't drop them, or it will bring bad luck." We did our best not to do these things, but sometimes we were unsuccessful. Luckily, nothing bad happened.
Track 10.
1. Challenging. Difficult in an interesting way that tests your ability. 2. Face. If you face something difficult, you have to take action. 3. Involve. Include or be a part of something. 4. Push the limits. Try to do your best and go beyond what you thought you could do. 5. Cope with. Manage a difficult situation or problem. 6. Explore. Go on an adventure to discover new things or places. 7. Research. A careful study of a subject, especially in order to discover new facts or information about it. 8. Survive. Continue to live or exist.
Track 11.
1,
I had invented a new telescope to study the sun, and I proposed it to NASA to fly on the space shuttle along with 10 other telescopes. And it was accepted for that flight. And then NASA said, among you 10 investigators, we need to have some of you go and operate the instruments because you are the experts.
2,
I became an astronaut when I was 27 years old. I think I was chosen for my love of space. Before I went to space, I was trained by experienced astronauts who inspired me. I hope more young people will dream of going to space in the future. Maybe one day, some of you will also be sent to explore space.
3,
I was an electrical engineer working at a company called Rocket Industries in Turkey. I never had the idea that I would become a national astronaut, a government astronaut. In 2019, the Turkish Space Agency was established. Roughly 1.5 years after that, they announced the National Space Program, which has 10 goals for the next 10 years. After hearing that, I got excited. Roughly 36,000 people applied for that program, and they were supposed to select two. And after a long period of selection, I was lucky enough to be selected as one of the first two astronauts of the Turkish Space Agency.
Track 12.
Igor Ashurberdi was born in Baku. He moved to Moscow in 1990 when he was 25 years old, and since then, he has come back to Baku many times. He's an aerospace engineer with a long career in technology. He's also a billionaire. He's the leader of humankind's first ever nation in space. Ashurberdi founded his space nation in 2016, which he calls Asgardia. Within 40 hours of the project's announcement in 2016, 100,000 people applied for citizenship. Within 3 weeks, that number rose to 500,000. Anyone over 18 can apply, but not all are accepted. There are now hundreds of thousands of citizens from hundreds of countries. Turkey currently has the largest number of Asgardians, with over 16,500 residents. According to the Constitution, their mission is to create peace in space and equal opportunities for Asgardians. In November of 2017, Asgardia took its first steps. A small satellite called Asgardia 1 was sent into space. It had data about 18,000 citizens, the flag, and the constitution of Asgardia. Asgardia wants to be part of the United Nations. To achieve this, the UN Security Council must accept Asgardia as a country, and then most of the countries in the world have to agree. Being a country means having people, a territory, a government, and being recognized by other countries. It's a big goal, but Asgardia is working hard for it.
Track 13.
1. Inspiring. Exciting and encouraging you to do or feel something. 2. Imagination. Something that you have imagined rather than something that exists. 3. Struggle. A hard fight in which people try to get or achieve something. 4. Admire. Look at something and think that it is attractive. 5. Filled with. Full of something. 6. Consider. Think of somebody something in a particular way. 7. Value. Think that somebody something is important. 8. Express. Show a feeling, an opinion, etc. by words, looks, or actions.
Track 14.
1. What were you doing at the park yesterday at about 4 o'clock?
Well, I was being interviewed by the newspaper about my new puppy.
2.
What's happened to your bike?
It has been stolen.
3.
Wow, your room is so tidy. When did you clean it?
It has been cleaned by one of my cousins, not by me. They often give me a surprise like this.
4.
Why are you so angry?
While I was walking in the park, my photos were being taken. I know I am a celebrity, but I also need some privacy.
Track 15.
Speaker 1.
There is smoke in the museum. I don't know what to do.
Speaker 2.
One of the visitors is not feeling well. What can we do?
Speaker 3.
There's broken glass everywhere. How do we clean it up?
Speaker 4.
Some erasers are missing. What should we do now?
Track 16.
Do you love art and feel excited when you visit a museum? That's totally normal. However, there are some people who show signs of Stendhal syndrome when they visit museums. This syndrome has other names such as Florence syndrome, traveler's stress, or museum disease. It happens when people look at really great works of art. The name comes from a French writer named Henri-Marie Belle who used the pen name Stendhal. Stendhal visited Florence, Italy in 1817 and saw so much beautiful art that he got very excited. He started sweating and feeling nervous. Stendhal syndrome can make people feel tired or even faint when they see something beautiful. And guess what? It's not just paintings that can cause this feeling. Even things like a sunset, waves at the beach, or tall mountains can make it happen. The good news is that the effects of Stendhal syndrome don't last long. People who have it don't need to go to the doctor or do anything. It's not something everyone gets, and it's quite rare, but once you have experienced it, you have a greater chance of experiencing it again in the future. Especially if you see an amazing piece of artwork. Tourists who love art, especially in places that are special to them, might feel it more. So, if you ever feel a bit funny looking at art, just know you're not alone.
Track 17.
1. Attitude. The way how you feel about something or someone. 2. Support. Help somebody by saying that you agree with them. 3. Assistance. Help. 4. Hang out. Spend a lot of time with a person or in a place. 5. Influence. Have an effect on a person's behavior or a situation. 6. Step back. Stop being involved in something. 7. Acquire. Learn something such as a language or a skill. 8. Outcome. The result or effect of an action.
Track 18.
Speaker 1.
The only thing I don't like about studying in Canada is absolutely freezing weather.
Speaker 2. Though my first performance was quite awful, soon I was able to show myself better. Speaker 3.
The food served today was fairly tasty. At least the meat wasn't burnt.
Speaker 4.
The web designing workshop organized at our trade school was the biggest and best in the country. Everyone was extremely pleased at the end of the day.
Track 19. Part 1.
The 6 Thinking Hats was created by Edward de Bono, an expert in critical thinking skills. He created the 6 Thinking Hats method to help people make better decisions. The hats make people think outside their normal way of thinking. The 6 Thinking Hats method involves 6 different colored hats: blue, white, red, green, yellow, and black. The greatest benefit of the thinking hats is that each hat provides you with different strategies. It means that with each hat, you think from a different perspective. In general, we all mostly have one way of thinking which we prefer. However, it might not be beneficial to only stick to one way of thinking. The thinking hats method helps us consider problems from other angles that we wouldn't usually. In this way, we explore different points of view relating to a problem and become better at analyzing problems from different perspectives to find solutions. The beauty of Edward de Bono's hats is in their simplicity. They are easy to learn and apply in discussions. This method is a great tool for group collaboration and decision-making.
Track 20. Part 2.
Now, let's see what each hat means. The red hat represents the emotional view. When using this hat, you ask yourself the question, how do I feel about this? You can express emotions and feelings and share fears, likes, dislikes, loves, and hates. The yellow hat represents the logical positive view. Under this hat, you explore the positives and try to find the advantages to consider. The black hat represents the logical negative view. What are the disadvantages, risks, difficulties, and problems? What might go wrong? Are the questions that you should ask under this hat. The white hat is the information hat. This is the neutral view. The hat is used when you need information. Under this hat, you ask the questions, what are the facts? What does the data say? The green hat is the creative view. When using this hat, you ask yourself the question, what new and creative ideas do I have? What are the possibilities, alternatives, and new ideas? The blue hat is the process hat. Under this hat, the questions that you ask yourself are, how can all of this thinking be organized? Have all of the other hats been used? How can I summarize the information?